Hey everyone, Jonathan here. Let's continue with this series, but before we get started directly into it, I'm just going to make some quality of life changes. So this camera icon here is right over the snake head, and I think that's kind of annoying. So a way you can get rid of that is just by going over here in the upper right corner to gizmos, and where you see this little camera icon, you can uncheck it and that will disappear. That's just showing where the camera is centered, but I don't think it's necessary to actually see that icon. The other thing, you can press Control S to save a scene. Now I did this after I stopped recording, so I didn't get to record it, but it will ask you just to save the scene, and then you can rename it Game and create a scenes folder and put it in there. And the scene is basically the area that we're playing in, the area that we're looking at. Now to get started into the coding, what we're going to do is make the snake change directions. So right now we started up and he moves right. We want to actually be able to control that and determine which way the snake moves. So I'm going to start this off by creating a new method, and I'm going to call this method, change direction, and open close parentheses, open close squiggly bracket. Now you have to think, where are we going to change direction from? Well, this is something that we want the player to be able to manually do. And this is a good area to use the update function, because the update is checking every single frame to see if the player is, if anything is happening. So it's going to look every single frame to see if the player is pressing a key. So we're just going to call that function from update and say change direction, open close parentheses, and a semicolon. Now we're going to learn about something called if statements. So an if statement is a conditional. If what we want matches, do that thing. So here we're going to just write if, and this is the formula for it, open close parentheses, open close squiggly bracket. So inside the parentheses, we're going to type input.getKey. Now you're going to see several things here we can pick from this list of finishers. There's get key down, and get key up. The difference is get key is going to allow a player to hold a button down. Get key down is only going to recognize the first input of that button going down, and get key up is going to recognize all of the key being released. In this case, we just want the key to be pressed once, so we're going to type get key down. And you can actually just double click that. You don't even have to finish typing that. Now, we're going to have another open close parentheses, and in this case, we're going to type the key that we want. So we can change it to be whatever we want, but in this case, I'm going to type keycode dot, and I want the player to use the arrow keys. So I'm going to say up arrow. Now, within the squiggly brackets of the if statement, we can type the actual code for changing the direction. So in this case, we're going to take this vector2 variable we created earlier and say now direction equals vector2 dot up and close and semicolon. Now what we can do is drop down a line here and go outside the squiggly bracket and type else if. And now I actually want you to pause this video and see if you can figure out how to write an else if statement for all the directions. So something to make the player have the option of moving the snake up, down, left, and right. Well, we've already done up. So pause it and give that a try. Okay, hopefully you have paused it and done that little challenge, but if not, feel free to just follow along. So I'm actually going to speed this up a little bit and just do some copy pasting here and change the what is necessary. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to do down arrow and vector2 dot down, and now one for a left arrow. Oops. Left arrow and one more for a right arrow. Okay. Okay, great. So with all of that code entered, let's go and test it out and see if it works. So I start up the playtest. Starts moving right on its own. I press up, it goes up, down, it goes down, left, it goes left, and right, it goes right. Great, that is doing exactly what we wanted to do. Wasn't that easy? Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for this lecture. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next one.